And I feel like so many of us too are really having to redefine and understand what success means to us. And I know, like, I know you, Mekel, but I can say for myself that every day when I figure out whether or not I've had a good day, it can't be based on how much I got done.
Yeah.
Like whether or not today was a good day, I can't go to bed at night and be like, oh, well, I got 10 things off my to-do list. Good day. That can't be the fucking marker, you know? My happiness can't be tied around my productivity. And it's so easy to fall in that trap because we are out here literally grinding every day. And like you said, you can't even fucking rest. Can't take a nap because if I sleeping, like I'm not working.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So it's
Hey everybody, this is John Eric Bentley, the voice of Barrett Wallace from Final Fantasy VII The Remake, Nick Fury from Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3, and so many other projects, and you are listening to Hawaii's #1 podcast, the Kasanova Podcast. Yeah.
All right, aloha and everyone. Damn, I fucked up my intro.
we know how this gonna go. We already know how this gonna go.
Let's try this one more again. All right. What's up, everybody? It's Mekel Kasanova, host of the Kasanova Podcast, Hawaii's #1 podcast for entertainment and more. Today, we are joined by a very, very special guest, the one, the only, the phenomenal Crystal Storm. Crystal, how you doing?
What's up? What's up? Happy to be here.
It's an honor to have you on the show. And, you know, we was going before we even hit record. I was telling you the tea of what's going on.
As soon as I popped in, me and Mekel are bonding right now. Listen, y'all, it's crazy at Mekel's house. We need to roll up with popcorn and snacks and just in our lawn chairs acting like we not listening. Like that's what we...
You're like, hey, how am I going to like break the ice? Like, yeah, okay, you know, my wife that just interviewed you, she about to knock somebody the fuck out right now because you know we got all kinds of shit going on in the playground.
100% team your wife. Please let her know that Crystal is 100% team her. Sending her all the juju tonight, so she can go get it.
Yeah, for real. I'm telling you, I've learned a lot in the last year taking my toddler to the playground. Like, there's a lot of thirsty moms and thirsty dads out there, and you would not expect this shit at a playground.
I'm so glad that I don't have kids, but like I find it hilarious that like the stuff that we see on like reality TV or like TV shows, you are experiencing in real life. Like if I wrote this, people would be like, LOL, it's just like a Tales After Dark show or some shit. Like, no, bro. I'm like based on a true story. Like for reals though. I'm so sorry. That's crazy. That's just wild.
What? Yeah, that's a hell of a
therapy. Y'all moms at the playground, y'all need to take that money and get you a therapist and get you a good one. Don't get you one that's telling you to keep doing what you do and get you one that looks at you like them TikTok videos and it's just like, no, that's not what we do. No, like that's not it at all. Oh no, boo boo. They not talking to you. That's what y'all need. Y'all need that they not talking to you TikToks. That's what y'all need.
Ooh. Oh man. Yo, talk about that's one hell of an icebreaker. We've never, this is the first time for those of y'all who are listening or watching, like this is the first time we've ever like face-to-face talk, and that's how we broke the ice.
That's how we broke the We friends now. That's it. He gonna have to keep me apprised of the saga now, because I'm gonna be in his DMs like, hey yo, what happened? You alive? You good? You in a basement? Where you at?
Well, all right. For the 10 people in the back that don't know who you are, Crystal, let's go ahead and run through your resume. Don't leave nothing off the table. Take as much time as you want. The show is yours. Go ahead.
Oh my goodness. Well, I am Crystal Storm. I am a undiagnosed neurospicy creator. I write, I voice act, I direct. I am currently the co-founder of the Tales of the Forgotten Fiction Network. We make incredible, diverse audio dramas told through a female gaze. We do sci-fi, we do horror, we do romantic erotica, we do vampire shit, we do Star Wars. We're about to do some Dragon Age. Like, we do all kinds of stuff. So that's what I got going on right now. Like I said, I'm voice acting as well. You can hear me as Agatha Harkness in Marvel Move. That is an official Marvel project. So I get to say that I'm a superhero. God damn it, which is awesome because my name is cool. And that's really what I got going on right now. That's you know, a lot of energy being thrown into Tales and making that successful, and just having a lot of fun making audio dramas and entertainment and all that good stuff. So we got a full slate of shows coming up for 2024. So you know how it is. We busy out here.
Yes. You know, and before I have you dive further into everything that you're doing, like when you say you're busy, because there are people who think when you're doing content, you're doing voice acting, you're doing podcasts, you're doing all this stuff that you're doing. A lot of folks want to say that ain't real work. It ain't a real job. Can you please educate? Because this episode is sponsored by Fuck. So fuck these motherfuckers. Can you please explain, you know, to these people what all goes into this and how it actually is work? It's more work than they doing at the job they fucking hate.
So first of all, if you're one of those people, you should be punched in the throat every time you say that. Like, I'm gonna just throw that out there. Like, you should genuinely like be punched in the throat every time you say that. Number two, you are probably also the type of motherfucker that consumes a wide range of the content that you then go and be like, oh, it's so easy for you to do. No, shut the fuck up. So let me just talk about just putting out one episode of an audio drama. Okay. First, it's writing a script. And if you've never had to write anything, then you do not know. Why don't you just go ahead and sit down and write you something that doesn't suck? Go write you some realistic dialogue. Shit, just try that. Try realistic dialogue first, and don't use no fucking AI to help you, because that's some bullshit right there. So first, just write the script, okay? Then once you're done writing the script, I want you to go find yourself some very talented voice actors. Then I want you to figure out how you're going to schedule them all. I want you to get them all in a remote session. I want you to learn how to direct. Okay. And then I want you to direct them through that session. I want you to record all their audio files. And then when that shit's done, I want you to edit each person's audio. Okay. Every single one. You got to cut out the OOC noise. You got to cut out all the laughter. You got to pick which dialogue you want to use, right? And then when you finish with that shit, I want you to put all that dialogue in some software that you have figured out how to use because you taught yourself or you took a class, whatever. And then I want you to add sound effects to that shit. Okay. And then when you're done with that shit, I want you to figure out where you're going to host it and how you're going to distribute it. And then I want you to find an artist to do some cover art. And when you're done with that shit, I want you to figure out how you're going to monetize it and tell everybody that it's out there. Okay. And then, oh yeah, don't forget to make yourself a website. And that's like 80 steps right there too. So good luck. So like, come on, like, stop it. It's so, are you kidding me? My to-do list is like, I'm gonna say, you know what? I'm gonna send you a screenshot of the Tails Network's to-do list. Like, it is overwhelming the amount of work that we have to do every day. Like, are you for real? Your little fucking pencil pushing 9-to-5 job that you hate, that you maybe work 2 hours for. Like, maybe you're working 2 hours because you just fucking off watching porn or listening to the content that you're. Get punched. Get throw punched. Get throw punched if you say that. Just get throw punched. I can't. And everything I said can also apply to a podcast. So, like, y'all killing me. Just try to schedule guests. Like, just try that. See how, like, just try to schedule some guests for a month of content and then come back and tell us how easy it is. Like, get out of here. Come on.
And so many people think, oh, it's easy to do this. It's easy. Like, no, the fuck it ain't. The amount of hats that you have to wear.
You do.
Especially, like I'm getting my foot into voice acting. And I'm already over here like, man, everything matters. Like the type of microphone, if you can get some sound isolation, the software, the hardware, you can't cheap out. And people, no.
People who say that just don't know. And you know what? It's 2024. There's no more excuses for you not to know. Educate yourself. Educate yourself and have some respect for the content that uplifts you every day. And I said this on your Wise podcast too. Like, I'm so tired of people like disrespecting the arts and disrespecting what we do, because y'all are the same people who consume it every fucking day. Like for probably 8, 9, 10, 12 hours a day, you are consuming this content, and then you have the nerve to turn around and be like, it's not hard, or I shouldn't support it. Y'all, get the fuck. Like, just get the fuck. Come on. Like, come on.
So, all right. So I got to ask you, and you probably got to show me a screenshot of your calendar from, and because I can already tell your calendar has got to be stacked from the time you wake up to the time you go to sleep with just the things you got to do.
Well, see, and it's even, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, because it's even worse, because I am neurodivergent. So somebody with undiagnosed ADHD, that means I'm not medicated. I'm out here raw dogging life, which means I have a problem. Yeah. Okay. So, So if you don't understand what executive function is, then you cannot comprehend having a thing that you have to do that you cannot do. And it sounds like, especially if you're like a Gen X or a boomer, like elder millennial, I get you. I am one. Okay. I understand where you're coming from. But it is so impossible to explain how frustrating it is and how debilitating and anxiety inducing it is to know that you have something that you need to get done and you cannot make yourself do it. I would not wish this on I'd wish anxiety on somebody before I wished executive dysfunction on people, like for real, because there are tools to conquer anxiety, right? Like, I've got a whole toolbox to deal with my anxiety. My executive dysfunction, there's nothing. There's nothing I can do to make my brain function the way I want it to. And then I also have the problem with people who have ADHD. People understand this, is everything is now. There is no future. There is no, everything is now. So when somebody with ADHD who's not diagnosed, or who is not on medicated rather, looks at a to-do list, every single item on that to-do list, their brain tells them is important and must be done immediately, which leads you to two things. Either you're having a really good day and you can actually pick something off that to-do list and get it done, or you get immediately overwhelmed. You get immediately overwhelmed and you will slowly and surely just start to shut down, because it is all too much. It is all too much. So what we are trying to learn how to do just here at Tails is, because I literally have shit I've got to get done, but I have to figure out how to kind of work with my brain to be like, okay, hey, we can work on just this today. It doesn't have to be, I've set a date, it's 12 hours before it, and now I'm crunching. Now I'm hyper focused and I'm doing everything in 12 hours and I'm stressed the fuck out. I'll get it done and it'll sound awesome, but I ain't trying to do that anymore. I'm trying to do this the not stressful way. So it's, but yeah, there's like you said, there's so many hats and there's so many pieces. Like, we're trying to get investors. I've got to take the content we produce, I've got to make it into a trailer, I've got to chop it up for social media, I've got to, we've got to get ready to cast other stuff. Like, I've got to survive, I've got to fucking pay my bills, like there's so much into everything. And it's not to like complain about it, I wouldn't do anything else, but people just need to understand that content creators work. We are out here working for that 30-minute episode that you love. Like, there was a lot that went into that.
Yeah. And, and that's the other thing too, is like, they don't understand, like, okay, so what is your response when people want to tell you, oh, just take time off for you? What time off do we have in this field?
Sure. Are you going to pay my rent? I would love. Sure. Are you gonna? I got a car payment coming up. I would. Yeah. You're gonna pay that? Are you gonna pay that? Sure. Then I'll take some time off. Absolutely. I would fuck. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding? Like, every time I try to have I have like a lot of a come to Jesus moments with myself to make sure that I'm doing what I love to do, right? Because it's a lot of work, right? And I'm like, I'm not getting any younger. I'm young and beautiful, but I'm 43, right? So I'm like, is this what I want to do? Am I in
for real?
Yeah, for real. I know I look good, right? I look good.
Damn, I thought you was like in your early to like mid 20s.
Yes, what? I am. Thank you.
Okay.
That DNA, I rolled a nat 20.
Damn.
I am so tired that sometimes, some days when I think about, like, if I got like $20 million, like, what's the first thing I would do? Take a nap. And I'm not even literally, if you were to write me a check for $20 million, I would literally just take 2 weeks off and fucking sleep. Like, that's the first thing I would do. I would take a nap. I would love to. But I mean, even like taking like a couple of hours, I think I took a rest day yesterday. And now I woke up this morning, my brain was like, you took a rest day yesterday, you better get this work done today. Like, it's just, there's no relief. And if you're one of those people whose brain, like, you don't have an inner monologue, I hate you. I hate you if you don't have an inner monologue. I do. No, I'm not. I love you. I think that's great for you, but my motherfucker, it does not. There's no silence. It never shuts the fuck up in here. So even when I try to rest, it's like, but did you do that? And then, that's coming up, right? So how you gonna pay that if you out here sleeping? Like, I know you gotta fill your cup and all, but do you? Listen, if you would like to invest in the Tales of the Forgotten Fiction Network so I can take a nap, we have an investor pitch deck. I would love to have that conversation with you. Please come and invest in our shows so I can go the fuck to sleep. Mekel just got on the mic. He's like, I'm gonna just trigger Crystal this whole episode. It's like, I'm just gonna do that. I'm just gonna let her speak for all of us out here who are just frustrated with y'all motherfuckers.
Yeah, I swear, like, every time I have to deal with people who just don't understand it, they're like, I'll just take time off. I'm like, and when you get sick, you still don't want to take time off. Okay, so as an example, I got sick. Well, our kid. So our kid got what's called hands, feet, mouth disease, right? Mm-hmm. She caught that from the playground, and my wife got it. And then I had just finished my inner sleeve, and then the day after I get it. Oh, and so I had fucking blisters, like literally we had blisters all over our hands, feet, face, back, all up and down my fucking tattoo. I gotta have a whole bunch redone on this because I got a ton of scars from the blisters. Right. So when it got to your feet, I have never in my 30 going on 36 years have I ever been to a point where I can't fucking walk.
Yeah.
I couldn't walk. I couldn't stand up, couldn't put no pressure on my feet. Just laying down was painful, standing was painful. Trying to do anything, couldn't eat because that shit was all. I've never had to deal with that. And our kid got over it in like 3 days.
Of course. Yeah. The Lord Yeah, y'all are fucking like, it's like you got Ebola. Like it's just kids are just like they get it, they pass it, they're good to go.
For real. We had to, because I had to go to the ER a couple times because I'm immunocompromised because I had cancer before.
Oh no.
And so the doctor's like, when our daughter got it, it's like, oh yeah, adults don't get it. And then after we got it, he's like, oh, y'all got it. Well, less than 10% of adults get it. And I'm like, thank you, motherfucker. Nah. So what do I do about it? So, well, you got to let it run its course. Well, how long is that going to last? Oh, like 4 or 5 days, 15 fucking days. Couldn't walk, couldn't do anything. We had to quarantine for 10 days straight.
I feel like you need to get a new doctor. I feel like that's the motherfucker that got a C in that class.
I know, right?
Yeah, right. Like, damn.
So I say all that to say, so for 15 days, I couldn't work. So imagine that anxiety.
I was about to say, you're giving me anxiety right now. I'm just thinking about the fucking anxiety, like the health anxiety, the I can't work anxiety. That's just anxiety on top of anxiety. Like, forget it. Like, I get a paper cut. I'm like, damn, I'm gonna die. Like, come on. I'm so sorry y'all went through that.
So, like, my fucking brain is over here looking at my body like, if you don't get your ass up, if you don't get better, we got shit to do. And I'm over here, like, all the companies I'm working with, all the projects I'm on over here, like, so when you gonna be better? I don't know. And then when I'm better, everybody's like, okay, here's this project, here's this. I'm over here like, oh,
I'm so sorry.
So,
especially because if you notice too, like the older you get, the more that you genuinely don't want to work on other people's shit either.
Yes.
So when people throw, like, you just have, like, you're trying to be a good freelancer and honor your clients, especially if they're good ones. But I find it's getting harder and harder to take projects that just don't resonate with me. Because I'm just like, I appreciate it, but I don't fucking care. Like, I'm trying to do this.
And it just gets to a point, like, I don't know if you're also similar to me in this sense too, but like, I'm at a point now, getting older, I just don't want to be fucking with folks as much. Like, when I was younger, like, yeah, let's go hang out. Now when someone's like, oh, let's go hang out, I'm like, fuck.
You know what? For me, it like genuinely like depends. Cause like me and my partner are thinking like that we want to start doing like game nights at our house, but like at our house with like select people. Like, I'm talking about 2-3 friends. We gonna come over and play like Risk or some shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, we gonna geek out like that. But yeah, I'm not trying to go out anymore. Like, I'm good. I did that so much. I've been in so many strip clubs. I'm fine.
Strip clubs, bars, clubs.
Bartended on. Look, I had a great time. And you know what? Every now and then it's fine. Every now and then I do miss go up, but like mostly I'm just like, I'm good. Baldur's Gate 3 just released a new fucking patch, bro. I'm good. I got tabletop tomorrow on Discord. I'm good.
So do you ever get the people, and also Baldur's Gate 3 is fucking phenomenal.
So good.
That game is so good. But do you also get like people who used to go out, party with, hang out with? Do you ever run into them now, or they just randomly hit you up and act like, hey, you're not around no more, or you act like you too good to be around us because you're doing this, and that? I get that all the fucking time, and I'm over here like, I'm working. Oh, when you're not working? I'm never not working. Oh, you gotta sleep though. I'm working in my sleep because this shit don't turn off.
It don't turn off. It's just not. No, you know what? I don't. Thankfully, I don't. I think my family wishes that I would party with them more because, like my brother and my mom, hilariously, are like those two extra. Like, there's a whole like rock thing going on down in Florida that they're going to be at all weekend, and it sounds fun. And I am an extrovert, but I know that my extroverted battery is not as big as it used to be. It's just not, because I could probably deal with that for like a day, and then I'd be like, I'm good. This was awesome. Thank you. I will now be on the beach by myself.
Oh, okay. So we gotta talk about it.
Okay, let's do it.
Tales of the Forgotten Fiction Network. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about how did you get? Okay, so that's so many fucking questions. Let's corral them bitches all into one. All right. How did you get started with, or what inspired you to create Tales of the Forgotten Fiction Network?
I believe Delvin told the story for us when he was on the podcast. Shout out to Delvin. Love him. Great guy.
Yes.
But yes, it did. It started with Legacy. And Legacy started because I'm a fucking geek and I was playing Star Wars The Old Republic MMO back in the day, like when it first came out. Like when it first came out, there was not all these expansions. BioWare was still in it. They were telling amazing, like all the storylines were different. It was just, it was so fucking good. And I was like in it. Like that gave me like so much dopamine. Like it was Star Wars because I'm a Star Wars fan, and it was this, and I was just in it. So I remember I don't remember how far in storylines I was, but I was pretty deep in like different storylines. And I tweeted, and I'm like nobody on Twitter. And I tweeted that like, should I write a fan fiction about this? And the official SWOTAR account responded to my tweet and said, yes, you should. And so, well, now I feel like challenge accepted, right? And this thing just fucking vomited out of me. I've never wrote so fast. I wrote like 150 pages. It's crazy. I wrote like so much, but that was Legacy, right? And then it just sat around. It was just a fan fiction. I posted it up on the message boards. People loved it. Great. Nothing happened. And then in typical ADHD fashion, I get a bug up my ass one day. And I don't even remember why I got a bug up my ass, but I was just like, I think I heard an audio drama and I was like, I could do this for Legacy. Because I had toyed around with like doing some audiobook stuff and like me reading it. And I was like, this isn't it. And then I got back in, I got reintroduced to audio dramas because audio dramas have always been around. So I just kind of got reintroduced to them. And I was like, So I put out a casting call on Twitter, get an amazing response from it. We casted it. We did it. It took off. People fucking loved it. And I found that I loved the creative collaboration. Like I fell in love with that because writing is very solitary, right? But I love bouncing creative ideas off people. That's why I loved podcasting. That's why I love like, gaming with friends and all that kind of stuff. So I just, I was a role player. Shout out to AOL chat rooms back in the day when that shit was lit. Like that's how old I am. Like people know. Shout out to the Medieval Tavern. What up? If you know. So I was doing all that. So to be immersed in this audio drama world where people are like reading your words, and that's like, oh my God, so good. And then I was like, all right, so let's just do this. So now I was like, I've got so many more story ideas in my head. Let's just do it. So we did. That's literally how it was born.
Nice. And so, how do you feel with like being a creative, putting something out there, and then when it gets to that point where the response from people on the internet is just crazy? How much of a dopamine hit is that?
I think I get more of a dopamine hit, honestly, from the creation process itself. Because once you put it out there, it's a little scary. Then it becomes, then to me, it becomes more, it slides into the business side of my brain, right? So now, I am always touched. And because we've gotten some really incredible pieces of email and comments on Legacy that I did not expect, because I just wrote some Star Wars fanfic, right? Like I'm not thinking that it's going to touch people or anything. And I remember, I think one of the most beautiful ones we got from was this guy. He sent me an email. He said he's a vet, and he said that listening to Legacy took him back to like his days from the original trilogy and reignited that spark. And it was just, I'm paraphrasing, but it was just so pretty. And I got receipts, y'all. This really happened. And it was just such a beautiful, and we've gotten a couple of those where people were just like, it just touched them. And that was just awesome for us. That's just awesome. But I think what gave me the most dopamine hit was kind of the community we built. And I am someone who loves kind of forming bonds and finding your people, because I've kind of felt like a black sheep all my life. And I've kind of felt like I've been like a, kind of an outsider and on the fringes of things like all my life. So to find people who were down to just come basically just come play in this sandbox with me, like it just lit up my inner child. Like my inner child was just like, yay, friends, we're going to go be creative and play in imagination and shit like that. And it sounds corny, but that's literally what it was for me. And it was just so awesome. So now it's even when we're like opening up our roster and we're bringing in new voice actors, I'm always thinking of, you know, who are we bringing in, and are these people going to be family, or is this just a business transaction for them? If it's just a business transaction, that's fine. There's plenty of talent out there that just wants to come, read the role, get paid, and dip. But we especially love it here at Tales because we're trying to be like this, you know, tight-knit theater group, but we have people who really resonate with what we're trying to do, that they just love the storytelling and they just love to, you know, kind of play an imagination, and they want to come kind of be a part of the community and they want to stick around. So that's what we're really looking for, and that's what really kind of lights me up about Tales.
Okay. So, you know, you said the transactional nature of dealing with some folks. How often do you have to run into, because, I mean, you saw the podcast with me and Delvin. I really go on a lot of tangents about transactional natures between, especially in the creations field. But how often do you run into that? And how do you deal with it?
So this is kind of new. So I grew up in corporate America. So I'm kind of used to that nonsense, but I left corporate America very quickly because that was just not for me. I got fired and I never went back, basically, because I got into a fight with this HR lady. I'll tell you that story later. It's pretty funny. Don't get into a fight in it with HR and corporate. You won't win. You won't win. You won't win. Yeah. But fuck her. Anyway, I said what I said. I don't regret it. I have just recently had an encounter like that, and I won't go into too much detail, but I will say that it was eye-opening, and I don't want to say it was hurtful as much as it was disappointing, because when you think people are friends and
oh, that's the worst one right there.
Right. When you think that when you have an expectation of the relationship and you didn't realize that the relationship had changed because you introduced something like a transaction, that is hurtful, but it's eye-opening, and it's not, and I'm not knocking that at all. Like if you feel like, if you're one of those people who feel like that you know, as soon as a contract is pushed or a job is introduced, or, you know, something of a business nature happens, if that changes things for you, then that's fine. That is okay. That is just not how I operate. So for me, I was taken aback the first time it happened, and I was kind of like, oh damn, for real? Oh. And so that's just kind of how it was for me. But now it's letting me know that how we need to kind of approach things going forward, and how I need to be a little bit more careful going forward, and how I need to maybe not make assumptions that a relationship is going to stay the same. You know, maybe I need to just have better means of communication and making things clear about certain things. So I still got to figure that out. I'm probably going to become crawling to you, Mekel, and be like, how do you handle it? Because I was just like, damn.
I mean, the shit still gets to me. Like I know when I did the podcast with Delvin, like a good 30 minutes of that podcast is just me going off on the situation I ran into, and I had to all that's edited out. Y'all not gonna see that on the final product, but
I understand.
Basically, you know, the Cliff Notes is I'm working on this project for the state of Hawaii and our last queen, Lilio Kalani's trust fund. So they approached me along with this other organization to basically, you know, bring content creation like classes, tutorials, guidance, as well as game development, art, and creativity to Hawaii, because a lot of the youth, they're into all this stuff, but from a cultural standpoint, that's not considered popular out here. You know, people want to go to the beach, smoke weed. I ain't got nothing against that. I mean, hell, go to the beach, you know, blow some ganja. Ain't nothing wrong with that.
Right.
But there's also like the older generation, whenever it's like the young people want to do something different, it's like, no, go into tourism, go into construction. The older generation really puts a lot of like limitations on the younger. So like, that's why so many of the young folks leave. I talk at the colleges every single year, all middle schools, the high schools as well. And, you know, these kids are like, I want to go into robotics. I want to go into writing. I want to go into content creating. I'm going to do podcasting, but I have no support from my family. They always talk me out of it, saying it's no future. That's, you know, it's a white person's thing, or as we say out here, it's a haole thing. And it's just, you know, this project that I had, I brought in, you know, because I'm Black and Hawaiian, and some, a lot of people say, "Oh, you pick one or the other." I can't. I'm old.
Right.
But I brought on a fellow Hawaiian since they wanted Native Hawaiians to work on this project. So I brought on another one, and he's someone I considered a friend. And he started doing a lot of questionable things over the last couple of months, and you know, I kind of looked at it, but I'm just like, oh, okay, he'll get his shit together, whatever. So then he put out this post where he's looking for some voice actors for a project that he's doing for this, I think it's Final Fantasy VI. And now, if anyone knows who I'm talking about, yeah, you know, I'm not going to name the motherfucker, but I gave you enough context to be like, oh, okay, that's what he's talking about. So anyways, he put out this post, he tags me, and he tags a bunch of other content creators. And I look at the post initially, I'm like, yeah, I'm down to be part of it. I'd love to voice this character. And then I look at the people you tagged, and I'm like, wait, you just you've been talking mad shit about all these people to me for like the last 7 months. How you hate these people, how they're fucking, you know, scumbags, they're sellouts, or all this stuff. And I'm like, so I DM him, and I'm like, can you like clarify this for me, because I thought you didn't like these people.
Right.
And he's like, well, you know, I can understand how you can get that impression. I'm already like, damn, this is PR speak right here. Okay. So he goes on to tell me basically, you know, I figured, you know, I would work with them because there are some great people in this community, and also I tagged this other person, so the tweet can get more exposure and all this other stuff. So he said all that to me, and I'm over here like, all right, so respectfully, I'm not going to be part of this. Right. And he's like, well, why? I said, because that's not how I operate. Right. You know, you've been telling me for months, these people you hate them, all this stuff you dislike about them, they're sellouts and all this other stuff, they're fake fans, and now you're using them. I'm like, dude, I don't operate that way. And so like he was just going and going and going and going. And then basically got to a point where he was trying to say that, you know, I was being aggressive towards him. He can't sleep because I'm giving him anxiety because I'm bullying him. I'm like, dude, all I said was, I don't appreciate what you did. I'm disappointed in you because that's transactional. That's really fucked up that you're using these people for your own gain. He's like, well, you know, this puts food on the table for my family. I'm like, dude, get your money how you get it. But I'm not going to be part of this. He's like, well, or are we still cool? I'm like, I'm fine with you. I'm not fine with that. Right. But he wouldn't accept it, kept going and going and going. And then he started on the project that I brought him in, backing out of it, talking shit about it, all this other stuff. Wouldn't hop on emails, wouldn't hop on conference calls. And this is a multi-million-dollar project.
Oh, Jesus. Yeah, you can't be doing that. Like, bro.
No. And it started getting to a point where all the organizations in the heads were like, okay, so we know you're going to be on it. You know, my wife was part of it. I pulled her in on it, a couple other people. But this person is saying this and doing this, and it makes you look bad. So I went and talked to him about that, and I'm like, dude, okay, regardless of this bullshit you just pulled about this project you're doing, where are you at with what we're trying to do? Right. And he's like, well, you know, I'm willing to back out of it because, you know, I don't want you to feel uncomfortable. I said, dude, fuck me feeling uncomfortable. This is business. Right. Are you going to deliver or not? And then I was like, so we have a saying out here for Hawaiians, it's kuleana, which means responsibility. So our thing is like, we're responsible for our environment, our home, upkeeping it, because, you know, Hawaii got taken from us for all intents and purposes. So our responsibility is the elders now, and we're the elder generation. We're supposed to help the generation come behind us. So I brought that up to him, like, dude, this is our kuleana, our responsibility to help the generation coming up so that they don't have to go through the hardship that we went through trying to get into the fields that we're in. I'm like, I do podcasts, I do content creating, I negotiate with brands and businesses. You're a professional writer. You have your own website. You're super successful. We need to impart on the next generation our skill set.
Right.
What does that have to do with me feeling uncomfortable? I'm like, dude, I told you we were fine. So he just kept trying to, and he kept going with that. And so I'm over here like, this motherfucker is really trying to back out of it. And so I just called him out on it. I said, dude, if you're not going to do it, just straight up say it. So he didn't say anything to me, but he bashed me to the state, to the Queen's Trust Fund, to all the partners and all this other stuff.
Bro.
And so when I went in so when we went to this meeting, I got to pull aside and we had to talk. I had to talk to them. And they were like, yeah, so all this has been brought to our attention. So we have some concerns. And I'm like, well, here are the receipts of the conversation. This is what this motherfucker was saying. And that contradicts what you just showed me. Right. And so they're like, okay, so can you please curate the people you bring in from here on out? And I'm like, yeah. Now, I know that was a long story, but I hate that. I hate the transactional bullshit.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm an old fashioned kind of girl. I'm an old fashioned kind of girl. I want to, you want to work with people and do business with people that you could just shake their hand, that you genuinely can just trust to just bring in and, we can do this together and you don't have to worry about I think at the end of the day, you just want to know where you stand with people. And if things change for them, that you just hope that they would communicate that to you. It's hard when two people, have different expectations of something, but you're dealing with a whole level of just shady ass drama. So good luck with that. Good luck with that.
Oh, this dude went to Twitter and made a post saying that he, due to recent events and some bullshit, he needed to take time off for his mental health. And I'm over here like, this motherfucker is engagement farming. Okay. I can't fuck with it. I'm old school. See, I feel like this is a problem we have with the internet now, is people like to say shit and don't realize that back in the day, a lot of shit that y'all saying now will get your ass whooped. So I've made it very crystal clear to this guy that when I see you, it's on site.
Oh shit! Oh, I told y'all it's going down at Mekel's house. We gotta show up. We gotta get our lawn chairs and shit.
Yo, I had this happen to another content creator. I reviewed a game called I reviewed the RoboCop game that came out last year, and this motherfucker decided he got the game too. My review came out before his, but because he's a bigger YouTuber and he's been caught up in some other drama, he decides to take the drama to me, saying I stole his footage and I ripped off his review, even though mine's came out 3 days before his, and had his audience on every video saying, oh, he steals footage, he does this, he does that, all this other bullshit. And so then dude was, he emailed me and I'm like, dude, what are you doing? My review, I've had this game for X amount of time, and I uploaded it a week ago, a week before it even went live. So how did I take your footage? I'm like, I don't even want you. So he was like, yeah, when I see you in person, I'm gonna fuck you up, blah, 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 all this other stuff. So I go to an event last year, and he's there. And so he's talking to people. I step up behind him, put my hands in my pocket, and I'm just right behind him. And the people behind him tell him turn around, and I said, you get the first swing for free. And he's like, oh, you're bigger. I'm like, yeah, I'm 6'2". I'm 200 something pounds. I got a mean right hand. But you get I said, you get the first. I said, I'll be nice. You get 2 free swings.
I mean, you was talking all that shit. Here I am. So what's up? I thought it was on site. It's not on site no more. Like, what happened? What happened?
And he's like, oh, I don't want to start nothing here. I'm like, no. You get free. 2 free swings. I didn't say they were going to connect. but you get free. Because after that, my hands come out. And I just didn't care. So a lot of content creators.
That boy.
I did
the shit out that man.
Yeah, so that's the kind of person I am. Not you understand how I am. Yes, I am from an island, but I was raised in the ghetto in Memphis. So you had to fight. You had to fight.
Listen, more people got to get Will Smith slapped out here. I said what I said.
So okay, all right. So I know we going all over the place with this podcast.
I know it's fine.
You know, that's just how we do. We like organic conversations over here. But like, how did you get into writing, and like, what really was the catalyst for you with that?
So I was just always a writer. I was just one of those kids that was just making up stories in their head. I think the first story I ever wrote, I'll never forget it. It was about a little boy and his horse, and they went around together solving crime. That shit was banging. No, it was terrible. Like the first story I ever wrote. But like it just never left me. It just never left me. I indie published 2 sci-fi novels. We're getting ready to turn those into an audio drama. That's pretty much going to take up the bulk of our content for 2024. And it just never went away. And I would call I am a writer first. I love it. But now I'm having a lot more fun with script writing and just being part of that collaborative process. But I don't know. It's just one of those things, like people who just wake up and they draw and then they just get better and better at it. For me, it was just, I got to write some shit down. I was supposed to be paying attention in class. Nah, I'm writing shit.
So have you ever had to deal with like writer's block, or you've just always been able to stay within that career?
No, I have. Yeah. So I published my first 2 books, and I have been struggling trying to get the 3rd book out. And I think that's one of the reasons why I'm enjoying the audio drama so much, because it feels like writing an audio drama script is a lot less pressure than trying to write another book. So I know I'm going to go back to it. I definitely will go back to putting out a couple more books, because I really have this goal to outsell J.K. Rowling. Like, I'm going to just put that out in the universe, that I really just want to write a book that makes more money than Harry Potter, so then I can just bully her the way that she bullies people. That's really a big goal for me in life. So I'm going to swing back to it. But yeah, writer's block is for real. I have had like, there are like 3 different versions of my 3rd book, and I don't know which one it's going to be. I don't know. I just got like hundreds of pages. I don't know what the fuck to do with them. So I'll figure it out eventually. But no, I've experienced, it sucks. It sucks, because I've got to be able to see the story so I can get it out there. And if I can't see it, but I'm finding that with script writing right now, it's, I'm able, the words just kind of come, because I'm a very organic writer. Like, I don't outline. I don't do any of that. It's just, I sit down and I just let the story go. So.
Okay. And so you said something when we first started talking, and I got to cycle back around because it ties into writing and the creative process.
Okay, let's go.
AI.
Fuck it. Fuck AI. Listen, no. Let me put it this way. Okay, let me break it down for real. Hey. I think that it has a place, but not as it currently exists. And let me expand upon that. I think that, you know, Pandora's box has been open, and now we got to do something about it, like, immediately. And that's like a whole nother conversation. But I think that how we as people want AI and how these greedy motherfuckers want AI is completely different. I think we as people want to see it as, I know, you know, are you helping to cure diseases? Are we going to get, you know, robots now that can take away some of these menial jobs? But also, if we do that, are we going to give people that do those jobs UBI, universal basic income? You know, I think that those are the conversations we wanted to have. We wanted lightsabers and flying cars and to fucking fly around in the galaxy and shit. Nobody fucking wanted AI to make art. Like, literally nobody asked for that. Like, nobody wanted that. Like, no, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's literally a bunch of fucking motherfuckers that are just like, and here's what I'm going to say about it. I think that humans, we are storytellers. Like that is kind of like our base nature, from cave drawings to, where we are today. Like we tell stories. I think you can attest to this. Like rich people, when they don't have shit to do and they just are free to do what the fuck ever, they will also make art. I have a friend who talked about how like in all these fucking arts communities and like, really fancy programs, all the rich kids would always flock to them because they could afford it. Like when you are just in your spare time, I think the majority of us want to learn how to make some type of art. So we covet it. We love it. And here comes this promise of AI that I can just click a button and make art. And that would be great if that art was not stolen. And I need people to stop using the word training, because this shit was not trained. You go to school and you learn how to do something, that's training. AI stole. It stole it. It scraped it. There is no training. It's not learning. It's taking. It is literally taking. And if you think it's not, if they don't want it to replace you, bro, I also have an igloo in the desert I would like to sell you. If you think it's not coming, like because they're not hiding it. They're not being, it's very clear they want to use this in every possible sector they can to get rid of us because we are expensive. AI is cheap. And we're not even that expensive because y'all ain't made the minimum fucking wage in like 1,000 fucking years. So I don't even know like what the fuck. So like everybody wants like some cool AI shit. Like I want a cute little R2D2 to fucking go to the store and get me a motherfucking coffee. Like I want that shit. Like you can, bro, can you clean my bathroom? I'd love it. Like I love a little road. Like I love that shit. Can you fucking like do my taxes for me? Yeah, AI all day. Are we curing? Can you cure my asthma? Yes, great. Like Eric, no, stop. And I need, I don't want people to get used to sharing it. I don't want people to get used to it to just be here. I don't want that to be, because they will just keep shoving it at us and shoving it at us and shoving it at us until we just accept it. That's been the gameplay for literally ever. And I think they picked the wrong fight because artists are very resilient. Like we are used to like roughing it and just having to fight tooth and nail for every inch we get. So I think that they picked the wrong group to start a fight with. I really do. And I'm, even with all the horrible layoffs, like in the game industry and all the artists that are struggling and the battles that are being fought, I have hope, because I think that we are going to see indies really rise in this environment, because it's already hard. It's already uncomfortable. We are already struggling. So I think we're going to see a lot more community building. I think we're going to see a lot more people banding together. And I think the future is going to be good for us. I just think we're going to have to fight for it. But I mean, fuck it. Let's burn this motherfucker down and let's see where we go.
Yeah. So I'm very much of the same mindset as you when it comes to AI. Like there's certain things I use it for, such as like, hey, I got all these projects. Can you like give me a time frame on my calendar here? Like that right there. Cause I can't afford to get an assistant. But all this other stuff, like I'm seeing it where people, especially games and tech, are using AI to write whole fucking articles, taking somebody else's thing and then rewording it, all this other shit. Like it is ridiculous. And then when you look at AI, we've had it for a while. I mean, when you really look at like fucking Siri and all this other stuff, yeah, that was to prep us. Right. But it wasn't, when you look at how ChatGPT came out was 2021 to the public, and how when that dropped, we looked at it and like, yeah, this ain't gonna go nowhere. And then boom, everywhere. You got ChatGPT, you got Gemini, you got Microsoft Copilot, you get all these different things, and now they got countermeasures so you can't tell what's actually written or done by AI. We got AI voices, and that's affecting the voice acting industry. Like, it is crazy how this, in literally 3.5 years, how it's so rampant. They can't put the box back on, or shut the door on Pandora's box. But if people think that this is not out there to replace them, it is. I mean, if you look at it, you're also from the corporate world too. You understand outsourcing was a thing. They want
Right.
to cut measures, cut
Right.
costs.
They've been trying to do it right now.
Yeah.
Now it's, it's not going to be some overseas, you don't lose your job to, somebody else, a million miles away. Now it's literally and they're not going to give us anything in return for that.
No.
And I need people to like, it's very clear that, which is like, it's like crazy to me because it's almost like they genuinely want a dystopian future, or they just want to make as much money as they can for, I don't know how long, because nothing that's happening right now is sustainable. And I follow, I pay attention to it because I'm not a techie person myself, and I know that. So I try to follow people that are smarter than me in this field. And what I'm hearing is that a lot of these models have gone as far as they can go. So the tech bros right now are like selling a golden ticket that doesn't go anywhere. Like this is kind of, we're kind of seeing like it. There might be like some improvements to like some things, but like for what they're selling, there's I think what scares me too is like the conversations that happen where a lot of people are saying that they don't even know how the fuck it works. Like they're just like, woo, we're just doing some shit, and I'm like, what you mean you just doing shit? We ain't watched Terminator. Like nobody watched Terminator. Like what you mean you just doing shit? Like what you like what you mean? So I don't want to jinx it, but I think that things are going to change. Things are going to change in this country very soon. I think that we need to get ready for that. And I think people need to decide what they want. And I know that's going to be different for Hawaii and New York and Texas and even inside it, like Austin is not going to want the same thing as Dallas. And it's going to be but people really need to start thinking about it, because I think everybody knows when you actually let that little anxiety in your brain that's been telling us for a couple of years now that shit ain't right. It's getting a little louder because ever since COVID, y'all, we've been fucked up. So it's not getting back to normal. You just need to decide. We need to decide what we want and what we want to build and what we want this to be, because Rome's burning, y'all. And that's just, that's why y'all are consuming this content so hard and listening to all these podcasts, because you know it. And I know that's scary. And I know that we thought that we could just vote and everything would be okay, but that's just not the case anymore. And I'm not saying don't vote. I'm just saying that it's not the magic unicorn that everybody thinks it is. So we need to just figure out, like, community wise, like find your people, get ready, start forming communities and indie, let's just rise up, because they gonna take as much money as they can for as long as they can. And this bubble's about to pop. That's all there is to it. Like, we know it. So I'm actually excited for it, because I got a South Node in Aquarius. So I'm like, burn this shit down. We need to start acting like the French, throwing bathtub through motherfuckers' windows and shit. Like, I'm like, let's go.
and people, especially content creators and creative people, really need to understand that, like, this is a serious threat to us. Because I know the whole VTubing and all this other stuff, like these virtual people. A lot of people think that's cool. They're replacing and creating influencers because they can control it. Because there's an unpredictability that comes to creators and what they're going to say. Now they've got it to where the machine learning programming, rather, stealing theft, can copy mannerisms for a person to the T, for inflection. They got it to where they have the models, and it's like, it's crazy. If you think that that's not a threat to you, and I know floodgates open when COVID hit and people's home, they doing all this other stuff. But the thing is, if you got to be careful. I mean, this is very much going to replace it. I mean, look at how AI has influenced social media. A lot of people don't look at social media in this sense, but I see it because I'm like, the For You tab. Before we had that, right? Before we had that, literally, if someone posted something that we were following, or that, let's say like Facebook or whatever, you got to see people's posts. But the thing now is, it's so programmed to what you look at and what they can push towards you as a form of propaganda too. So like, even if you're following people, you may not even see them.
Correct.
It's going to show you literally what you keep looking at, and the worst of it, and what they want to sell you. And a lot of people don't realize that.
It's crazy that they don't. Like, I get it, but it's so, and that's why I think we should be, I don't want to do fear mongering, and I don't want to sound the alarm, but an alarm kind of needs to be sound in the same time, because listen, y'all, storytelling is so important to us as a culture, as a people. Science fiction, and I know I'm an artist speaking on this, but just think about how like our imaginations fuel the future, and they help inform what we want to see, and they help us tell our stories and connect with each other. Now, I really want you to take a pause and think about what happens when us telling those stories is taken away, and now you've got somebody with a very clear agenda telling those stories instead. What do you think that does? What do you think happens from that? I mean, you got motherfuckers out here screaming all day about woke this, woke that, woke. So forget that. Now think about what capitalism is going to tell you is right and wrong. What is that story? Because that's really what it is. And what bothers me so much about kind of the system that we exist in is because it does not encourage us to be our best selves. Like, I get why people jumped on the AI train. They were like, oh shit, I can make some money. Like, oh shit, I can just print out all these prints and make money and pay these bills. And like, I get it. So we always want to take these routes because we're just trying to survive, because they don't make that shit easy either. And I get it, but that is not the way. Like, we have to stop fucking like cutting our nose off to spite our face. Like, you have to stop doing that because that's not how you win. That's not how they're never going to let you be in this club. This isn't how you're going to do it. All you people out here using this copyrighted art, they're going to throw you under the bus. They've already said, I think they've already said it. It went from, oh, it's fine, to, well, we can't be held responsible what people do with our stuff. And you knew that was coming. So if you, as just a creator, all of a sudden you were using somebody's likeness and you thought it was fair use, it's not. It's not. It's not. So y'all gotta. It's not like the .com boom. It's not a get rich quick scheme. This isn't it. This is not it. So y'all need to stop fucking around with this, because you are shitting on the people that you are going to need very soon. Stop it.
Yep. I mean, and people need to be. We're in this visual era,
right?
We're fully in it. We're seeing how physical media is dying off very quickly.
I gotta find budget to go buy some DVDs, man, because I ain't like, do I own anything anymore? Shit.
Right? I mean, they'll just take it away from you. You paid for it.
Right. They're like, sorry, it's not on our platform anymore. What the fuck you mean it's not on your platform anymore? I paid you for it.
So, I mean, people in this digital age, we need to, people need to really pay attention to what's going on. You cannot be willfully ignorant in this current era. It's just the people like, oh, I don't know how to use this smartphone. I don't know how to use this. I don't know how to. Fucking pick up your phone and Google it. It's right there.
There are so many YouTube videos. Go to YouTube University. Go to TikTok University. Like, bro.
I mean, literally. And if you have a question, just ask it on these search engines, because you'll have to sift through some stuff, but it's right there. It doesn't make sense how we're in this time where access to information is right there at your fingertips. More than any other time in human history. And people are dumber. It is mind-blowing to me. It's like we're so bombarded with useless information. That is kind of, I mean, we really want to go down the rabbit hole of stuff. I frequently go down the rabbit hole because this brain never turns off.
I understand that so much. Yeah, let's go.
You look at how we're getting so much stupid shit. And I'm going to pull this from the game Metal Gear Solid 2, because it actually talked about AI and its agenda back in 2001 of how you can control people by diluting them with useless information rapidly, constantly.
Correct.
So
Yes.
when you do that, the important shit that's actually going on in the world, they're not going to be looking at, because we're looking at this.
Correct.
Look at every fucking social media platform.
Mm-hmm.
Everywhere you go, nonsense. And then the stuff that's actually happening, people don't pay attention to it.
Right. It is 100%. It's why, you know what? And people don't even have to fall that far down the rabbit hole. They really don't, because it's the same playbook that they've been using for literally ever.
Yes.
Like literally forever. I was watching, what was I watching? I think because I hate myself, I was watching Outlander. I watched the first season of Outlander just because I was curious, and I regret every life choice that I've made that led me to that choice. But anyway, I watched it.
Say why?
I know, bro. I don't know. I watched it. I got through the whole. I don't even think I furnished the first season. I might have got like maybe 8. I don't remember. But anyway, there was this one scene where the two women are like just being accused of being a witch, and I was fascinated by it because I'm listening to how the people are like talking at them and what they're saying, and I'm just like, we're not any different than what we were. We are genuinely not. We've gotten fancier toys and we got AC and plumbing now. But as far as like mindsets go and how they control us with the flood of information or the lack thereof it and the selection of it, nothing is different. It's like, y'all, it's genuinely not. They have been running the same goddamn play for centuries now. For centuries now. We're just replacing words. It's not witch anymore. Now it's woke. Like, we're just replacing words, but we're acting the same fucking way. And it's just like blowing my mind. Like, it's crazy out here. So y'all, this AI shit is bad. Voting is not going to magically fix things. Find your people, build your communities, tell your goddamn stories, and then support the people who do. That's it. You be all right. We can just do that.
One of the things I find so amazing, and I call people out on this frequently, especially out here, is we're quicker as a people, as a humanity collectively. We're quicker to support celebrities and go to their movies, buy their books, buy their audio dramas, do all this stuff, their merchandise. But if it's somebody we know and they're out here taking a chance on themselves, building their brand, building their business, doing all they need to do to succeed, people don't support that.
Isn't that crazy?
It blows my mind.
Because the content is just as good. It's just as good. I remember I listened to an audio drama with a very famous actress in it. And I don't want to knock the audio drama because it's a small community, but I remember listening to it. And I was just like, we put out shit that sounds just as good as this. And I remember listening to it and having to turn some parts down and turn it up and turn it down. And I'm like, and y'all paid somebody. Y'all was like using the bestest sound in the industry to do this shit. And I'm like, when I fucking listen to my shit, I ain't got to go up, down. And I know what the fuck is going on. So what's up? Like there are, you just listen, that celebrity don't need your support. That audio drama you just listened to that has a Patreon, they need your support. That audio that's making, you don't have to support that. That it's going to be okay. That one's going to be fine.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's just something I find it so wild. Like, so today I literally just hit 40,000 on YouTube, and I've been doing YouTube since 2015. And a lot of people today, I've gotten a lot of people showing love that are creators. They're like, man, that's a milestone. Congrats on that. Keep going, keep grinding. Now I got a lot of people like, oh, that's cool. But when you become a big YouTuber or big creator, then I'll tune into what you're doing. And I'm like, what is your definition of big? Because to me,
right,
just getting 5 people to listen to anything, there's billions of people on this planet, but getting 5 people to listen to or watch or support anything you do is hard.
It's hard. Yeah. And it's an incredible accomplishment. And what a shitty thing for somebody to say. Wait, so hang on. You only will support my content if it's got X numbers of likes? Like you won't even enter. Like what? What is
how many people buy that shit? They can buy likes. They can buy followers.
Right.
You know, you see a lot of these people just blow up out of nowhere. They just create an account and boom, I'm just saying.
Anyway, that's why. You know what? You don't want a motherfucker like that on your train anyway. You know what? Somebody said that to me. I'd be like, you know what, motherfucker, do not listen. Yes. Don't listen when I become, because you know what? At that point, I'm gonna make it real. My content is not for you. Mm-hmm. I notice it. Like I notice it too. Like people will crawl out of the woodwork as you write. Like you just notice it too when you post things on social media and the stuff people interact with and the stuff that they don't interact with when you post. You know, like you're out here like, hey, come do this, but then you put up a meme and everybody and their mother wants to like it. Oh, but you didn't see the other post, but the picture, that's okay, that's fine. But then you tell people that, like, for example, when I told people I was in the Marvel project, out of the woodwork. Likes, this, that's so great. Everything like that, And then I'm like, hey, I got this audio drama coming out.
That's so true.
Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm just like, oh, okay, you can't. All right, but you can show up, but you're not going to show up for that. And listen, you're allowed to like what you like. So it's not like, I'm not saying that everything we do, we have to support it. But you can just tell when people are waiting for, like you said, that real big shit. Then I'm gonna hang out with you. But if it's just this little shit, but let me tell you, I see you and you not hanging out with me at all. Because I see you.
Yeah. Especially like if we use like Instagram and Facebook as an example, people who look at your stories and never interact with nothing you do. I did a short a couple months ago. I was like, it's kind of interesting because these people, they look at everything you do. They don't ever like nothing. They don't comment on nothing. They don't show up to nothing you got going on. Mm-hmm. But then when you do something big, I always knew, or I support you, or just, you don't fuck with me. Stop acting like you
who the fuck around. Are you? That's why I'm like, no, bro, no. If you were not here for my small victories, you can't hang with me on the big ones. Like, that's not how it works. Like, no. And I know that there are a lot of people out there that silently support us, and I appreciate that. I appreciate all of y'all. I do. I think that that's something. But y'all need to let us know that you're silently supporting. And you can literally do that with a little chichi. You can like that. You can heart that. You can emoji that shit. I get it. I'm married to an introvert. I get it. Because you don't. I think people underestimate. Like when we talk about people supporting us, the money is great. Don't get us wrong. We need that. We need that to survive. But especially for us who are out here wearing 25,000 hats, your word of mouth marketing for us is so powerful. And you leaving at that review, or you retweeting something, those are all very silent actions you can do. And the person that we see that, we love that, we appreciate that. If you are just being silent and then you're only showing up when we say, hey, we've got X name star on the pod, we're not fucking with you. We're not fucking with you because you make it very clear that you're only interested in us when we do something that in your eyes is worthy of your support. And I don't treat people that way. So I'm not gonna let you treat me that way. Like, I'm just not.
Yeah, and it's just wild that, especially too the other thing with this current era of how people treat. They think that your value as a human being or your value and success is rooted in how many likes you got, how many followers, and all that. That is such a horrible, dehumanizing thing.
Yes,
I fucking hate it.
Yes, 100%. Fuck that. It's a capitalistic marker. And, I feel like so many of us too, are really having to redefine and understand what success means to us. And I know you, Mekel, but I can say for myself that every day when I figure out whether or not I've had a good day, it can't be based on how much I got done.
Yeah.
Like whether or not today was a good day, I can't go to bed at night and be like, oh, well, I got 10 things off my to-do list. good day. That can't be the fucking marker, you know? My happiness can't be tied around my productivity. And it's so easy to fall in that trap because we are out here literally grinding every day. And like you said, you can't even fucking rest. Can't take a nap because if I sleeping, like I'm not working.
Mm-hmm.
So it's fun. It's a good time. We're
Is.
okay.
So winding down and being completely respectful of your time. I know we kind of going on so many different tangents over here.
I know.
I love
like,
it,
well, how you let ADHD people talk? It's fine.
so you and I are very close in age, and I feel like we probably have a similar view on this, but how things that we grew up being fans of, nerd culture and I guess geek culture, since they had to slap a label, that's what they call it, how it's become mainstream. Mm-hmm. Is that surreal to you? Because for me, a lot of stuff that's like super popular now, 15, 20, 30 some years ago, I never would have thought it would be.
Yeah. It's interesting. It's, that part about it, it's interesting. And I think it kind of excites me because I love seeing people that are our age let our inner childs out to play. Because I know so many people who have just friends of mine who, the reality of life took over, kids, jobs, that sort of thing. And they're not in the creative spaces anymore just because they can't afford to.
Yeah.
So we're very blessed to do what we do, even though it's fucking hard as fuck. But I think it's really cool to kind of see stuff that we did not like. We was all like getting made fun of for liking, now all of a sudden being so. And that just speaks to how important the art is, you know, and how important all these, all this creativity in our imaginations and all that shit is, because now we get to see it in all this cool new stuff. And I don't think anybody wants to lose that. So nobody, nobody wants any of this AI shit. X-Men 97, an animated fucking series. All the adults I know were fucking watching that shit, bro. Mm-hmm. And they're losing their minds over it. You love to see it. Who would have thought in 2024 we're still fucking watching cartoons? I love that shit. It's fucking great. It's
fucking great. So what do you think of like the people who want to gatekeep and be like, you're not a true fan because you weren't there back then? Like, I can understand getting annoyed at the people coming in and want to be like, okay, I'm the authority on this. But at the same time, it's like, it can't grow unless new people come in. I look at fandoms for certain things, like, and this is from when I was in retail as a teenager and young adult. Like, I look at it, you don't grow as a business by having the same people who shop at your shop come in. You grow when people who never shop there come in, and the footwork going through that front door is more and more and more. You can't just rely on the people who were there. So when I see more people coming into a fandom, I'm all for it. Yeah, there's especially in gaming right now, I'm kind of annoyed at the type of people that are in it, because it's more about, let's talk about the business and the brand and all this. And now everyone's an armchair analyst. And I'm over here like, is the game good?
Right.
Can we get back to talking about that? Yeah.
I think that's why Baldur's Gate had so much successes for a lot of reasons. But one of the things that I particularly loved about Baldur's Gate is because they knew exactly who the fuck their audience was. It was the thirsty motherfuckers. They knew it. They knew it because the first clip they had was bear sex. Like, they knew who the fuck their target audience was. It was all us thirsty motherfuckers that was in Dragon Age trying to romance people. It was all our TTRPG players that we would just, we romancing our friends at tabletop, and we just have it like, they knew who their audience was. And that's who they made a game for. And that's why there's like 1,000 reasons why Baldur's Gate was so successful. But I think that's one of the reasons why. And gatekeeping in fandom is dumb. Yeah. It's genuinely just stupid. Like, there is no gatekeeping to like, listen, I'm a Star Wars fan, but I'm not so much of a Star Wars fan that I have memorized Wikipedia. Like, I can't hear a fucking lightsaber turn on and identify whose lightsaber it is. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not that Star Wars fan, right? I don't know shit about the High Republic era, okay? I ain't got time. I have not read the Thrawn books, okay? I'm sorry. Does that mean like I'm not a Star Wars fan? Like, I'm like, it's stupid. Like, there's not a fucking checkbox you gotta check off to be in the fucking cool kids club of fandom. Do you like it? Are you a fan? Great. Come sit. Like, that's it. That's it.
Oh, man. I think it's safe to say you're having a good time right now.
Having a great time. Having a great time. Do you know who I'm talking? You know those people, though. They're like, it's like that. I like this. Well, name 5 things about it. Motherfucker, what? I'm not pop quizzing. Like, what? So, no, people need to stop gatekeeping. But I also, you know what? The older generation also needs to stop pretending that they understood it when they did not. Like, all y'all motherfuckers out here acting like Star Trek and X-Men aren't woke. What did you watch? Please explain.
I mean,
please,
for real, though.
Like, what? Who do you think Rage Against the Machine was talking about? What did you like? There are lyrics you can read. What do you? That's who's pissing me off. Like that, all these, they're like, what are you talking about? We're just going to call this podcast Mekel Triggers Crystal for an hour.
For real. Oh my God. No, and it's like it's so crazy because like these folks really try to act like, oh, that was never in there before. I'm like, what the fuck do you think the X-Men was an allegory to? What do you think Star Trek was talking about?
Right.
What do you I'm like, even Star Wars in many aspects. Like,
right.
There's been messages in commentary on what we're dealing with in these mediums.
Right.
What are y'all talking about? Woke.
Just like, what is I don't get it. Like, I don't. Like, sometimes I want to sit down and have a conversation, but sometimes I don't because I'm just exhausted and I'm tired of hearing the dumb shit. But I just genuinely like don't fucking get it. Like, especially with like things that are just so obvious, like X-Men and Star Trek and like Rage Against them. I'm just like, what? Just like,
yes.
What? Like, what are you talking about?
So one of the last things I want to dive into is, with everything you've done from voice directing, voice acting, writing, all the projects that you're on, what time do you have for you?
That's a great question. Yeah. It's a great question. So I am using Notion and learning how to schedule. So that is a slow process. I've learned how to kind of break my year up into quarters instead of a year, which is very helpful as well. And I'm just making it a priority. Like my partner and I both, we're just making enjoying life an actual priority. You just kind of have to. So I'm doing better about just giving myself permission to take rest days and not work. And some days are harder than others. Some days the whole rest day is literally me just fighting my brain. And that's just real. Some rest days I'll get a couple hours and I'll actually get to play and have fun and like enjoy things. But we're just, I think for a lot of people, the last couple of years have been hard. I don't know if it's going to get any easier for us, just to be honest. So we are literally making having fun and enjoying ourselves a priority. So I have to, just for my mental health, I talk about this a lot just when I'm rambling, but I think I've been saying this for years that I have to find a way just for me of falling back in love with the world. With the world. And I don't know how I'm going to do that. And I find that some moments are easier than others because there's a lot wrong with the world right now. But I also, in my fiction and the stories that we tell at Tales, I want to make sure that we're being hopeful. And I think that for me as a creator, I feel like I have a responsibility to help people see their vision of what they want. And I know that sounds like, I'm not trying to come off as arrogant, but I think that's what good fiction does. Like you read a book and it wasn't just about, oh, I got to write a dragon. It was also like, silly, life lessons and moments of love and connection and all that really important shit inside of stories that we want to take out and see in the world. And especially now with everything falling apart, as it should, because this shit is whack and it's got to fucking go. But I think it's more important than ever that we help people kind of remember what their dreams, what their vision was. And these are big questions. And I think you can find safety in fiction, entertaining that, if there are no, if there are no restrictions, if after you do take that nap, what do you want to do? What does it look like? What does your world look like? And what inspires you and what lights you up, and do more of that, because we do genuinely need more of that. So Mekel, I just got to take it. I do it. My wife and I, we're not married yet, but I call her my wife all the time. We have our coffee dates in the morning. We're blessed to do that. We wake up, we go get coffee together. Sometimes we hang out at the park for a little bit. I'm blessed to be able to do that. We have our nighttime routine as well. And, tonight we're gonna game together. I'm gonna get off of this. I'm gonna go hang out with her. We're gonna do some gaming, and I'm just gonna enjoy the Friday. And then tomorrow, this weekend, I'll be working. But you have to make that time, because us as content creators, we won't take it if we don't make ourselves take it, and I'm sure you see that. You got a wife and you got kids. Your kids will make you. Your kids will be like, "Daddy, what's up?"
Man,
like you ain't got no choice. Like,
I'll be like, I'm gonna lay down and take a nap. No, we going to the park. Right. No, you taking me to my recital. You doing this, and I'm just like, can you take yourself?
I hear you. Yeah, I hear you.
I knew I should have said that. What are your thoughts on like the people who are, because like I'm a big proponent of mental health and safeguarding 100%. It.
Yes, have to.
But what do you think of the people that are just, they find everything wrong like all the time, and they can never be the perpetually just negative person? I made a short about this the other day, and I pissed off a lot of people because they thought it was aimed at them, and I'm like, no. But when you're so negative that there's nothing good going on in your life that you can find or even acknowledge, and I'm over here, I'm struggling too, but I can still have things to be happy about. At some point, you become an energy vampire, and it's draining.
Yeah.
But what do you think of those type of people?
That one's delicate. And here's why. Because when I think of those types of people, I think about poor Eeyore from Winnie the Pooh. And how he was definitely clinically depressed, and he was always accepted, and I think it's twofold. I think that you have to protect yourself, and you have to protect your energy, and that's paramount. You have to protect your mental health. You just do. And I think people like that need to find a way to whatever is in them that needs to be healed, they need to find a way to heal it. Because there are plenty of energy vampires out there, and you can't let them drag you down. You really can't. All we can try to do is to uplift people, and I know that, therapy might not be the answer for everyone. I'm a huge proponent of it. I think we all should try some modality of therapy. I think it's important, whatever that therapy may be. I know that there are a lot of hurdles to that. I know that it's not accessible for some people. So I totally get that it's hard, but I think that we are all fucked up, and we all need to engage in some kind of healing and self-reflection, whatever that looks like. So whatever therapy, and I use that word loosely, looks like for you, I think we all need to engage in it. So if you are someone that looks at the world and can't see anything good in it, I'm sorry, you need a hug, but there are things. There is something. And even if that's, you wake up every day and you get yourself one of them gratitude journals, which I need it because I have a hard time celebrating wins. You accomplish something and you just roll into the next thing and you forget to be like, oh, damn, I need to be grateful for that. So people like that just need to try and find, their own little bubbles of happiness for themselves, like for you, bro. You can't just knock everything. And for whatever reason that you exist that way, I'm sorry for what hurt you, but you got to find some light. You have to find some light, and then you have to respect the fact that people can't be around that like all the time. You know, that's just real.
Yeah, I had a person who, you know, anytime I talk to them, I've known them for like, I want to say like 14 years. And every time I talk to them, it's always like something's wrong and something's negative. Oh, there's no point to life. There's no point to this. And I'm over here like, what do you do in your day-to-day life that all you see is negative? And then when I dove deeper into it, I found out all they do is doom scroll, and I'm like, that's a hole in itself.
Put the fucking phone down.
Yeah. Yes.
Bro, go touch grass immediately. Go find you some glimmers, because that shit will suck you in. Like, and that's all they show us. But there's a lot that we can celebrate. There are good things that are happening in the world, and we need to celebrate them as much as we draw light to all the things that are wrong. It's real easy to find some shit that's wrong.
Yeah.
That's real easy.
Yeah, I mean, I told them, they're like, well, they asked me, they're like, so how do you find anything of value? I'm like, my kids, my wife. I mean, there's the fact that I beat cancer. I was a stage 3 colorectal cancer. They basically was like, you got X amount of months to live. I'm still here.
That's fucking huge. I'd celebrate that shit every day.
You know, like the fact that I'm still able to do anything, like that's something to, and they're like, yeah, but yours is a unique case. I'm like, you can't fight for everything that's wrong. You can't just fight for the limitations of that. You want to fight for staying negative. Like, find something, do something, get off fucking social media. Because I had to tell them,
volunteer, go do something. Yeah.
For real, because like all they do is sit and just doom scroll and then share posts about negative things, and they're like, well, this is all I see on my feed, because you have trained your feed, For You, to show you that.
Right, to only show you that. Next time you talk to your friend, tell him to go visit yesmagazine.org.
Okay.
Great website. They will find things that are going right in the world, and they need to spend more time there. And if they are clinically depressed, I hope they get some help, because that's a hell of a way to live.
Oh, I told them, like, you know, seek out professional help. And they said that, well, why should I do that? Because how do we know that, you know, therapists are qualified? I'm like, look, I've been in therapy for 16 years. Because, and this is the reason. Here's the reason why. So my first daughter from my first relationship passed away.
I'm so sorry.
So she would have been 15 years old. So it's been 16 years since, you know, she passed away. And, you know, I didn't have any support system back then. And I literally had to go in therapy. So I've had the same therapist for 16 years. And, you know, I'm going to go see him tomorrow. You know,
right.
Like, what's going on, even though there's nothing wrong. But, you know, I told them, there's nothing wrong with getting professional help.
There's really not. There's really not.
You know?
If you have the means to do so, do it. And you know what? They need to understand that you might have to shop around for a therapist that you vibe with.
Yes.
And there are different modalities of therapy that will be more effective for you depending on what you got going on. So it's a little bit of a process, but it's one that's genuinely worth it. It is genuinely worth it.
Yeah. So with that being said, is there anything you want to leave the audience with before we go?
Be a good human being. Be a good human being. Form community. Support this amazing podcast that you listen to on the regular, and come check us out over at talesoftheforgotten.com. If you are an investor, I would love to have a conversation with you. You can invest in our network for not a ton of money. We're not looking for millions yet. But we would love to have that conversation with you. Or you can just, give us a little membership. You can, make us a one-time donation to support our shows. Or you can just listen to something, love it, like it, review it, share it. We love that too. We'll take it all. But I have had a blast being here with you, Mekel. This has been great.
Awesome. So you weren't expecting this, huh?
No. But you know what? I love surprises though. I can just go off the cuff. Like, what we talking about? Let's go. I can just say some shit.
Oh yeah, we definitely would love to have you back on the show. It's been an honor having you on. I've enjoyed. We've been talking technically almost 2 hours now.
Almost 2 hours now. Yeah, whatever. It's cool.
Yeah, like I definitely love to have you back on the show, and links for everything that you're doing and all your social media will be in the description of this podcast on all major podcast platforms, as well as on YouTube when the video goes up over there. But yeah, I mean, anything you want to tell people you're working on before we go, and then we can wrap up and go from there.
Sure. Don't Look, our horror audio drama is coming out, finishing up in June. You can listen to the first 2 episodes, but if you just don't want to wait and you want to wait till we get back into production on that, June is when that happens. After Don't Look, we are releasing a 7-episode vampire audio drama. It's an original one. They are not pedophiles. They are adults. It's a great tale. Y'all are going to love it. And then after that, we're rolling into our sci-fi conspiracy. So we got a lot of shit going on. We do live listen parties for all of our shows where we listen to them together. And then we get on with the cast and crew and we just chat and bullshit. And it's like this. It's super fun. So that's kind of how we help, like, bond with our community and shit. We got a Discord. We do game nights. We about to do some tabletop shows. We got a lot of shit going on. So just come on over to Tales of the Forgotten after you done supporting Mekel and come hang out with us and we can geek out on shit. Let's go.
All right. And with that being said, that's another episode of the podcast. Thank you guys for listening. Thank you for watching. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you, Crystal, for taking time out of your day. As busy as you are, I don't know how you can afford 2 hours. I'm over here like, my anxiety's over here. I'm over here like, damn, it's 2:42 p.m. for me on a Friday. I know it's later for you. I know you got shit to do. So I'm over here like, man.
Don't worry. That's it.
So, yeah, with that being said, we're signing out. Thank y'all again, and we'll catch y'all on the next. For your time for listening to this episode of the Kasanova Podcast, number one podcast in Hawaii. If you found this episode to be incredibly enjoyable, informative, or if there's anything you gain from it, or any insight, or anything that's good that you really, really enjoyed, make sure whatever platform you're listening to it on, or if you're watching it, leave a comment if that's available on the platform, like it, share it around with someone you think would enjoy it, and give us some feedback, because your feedback is exactly what we need to keep this show going. And if you're wondering what are some ways that you could support the show, we got various ways. We've got Patreon, we have channel memberships over on YouTube, as well as Subscribestar, Coffee, and so much more. Links for everything will be in the description of the podcast, so make sure you go check that out. And with all that being said, I hope you have an aloha rest of your day.
Let them know that I'm next level. I'm a whole new kind of guy. Yeah. Yes, at the top spot, in case you forgot. We the ones that got the block hot, bullet got the shot.